not just the remarkable beauty that makes Egypt majestic, it's the spirit of its people, who despite the hardships they face, they manage to have a heart full of hope and a soul craving success. And here is the story of Khalid.
Khalid's father, who worked in the fish farm, could barely afford their basic life necessities. For nutrition, not being able to buy meat or poultry made them rely on fish as a cheaper protein source.
Suddenly, an infection spread among all fish in the farm, leading to Khalid's father losing his job. They became unable to even afford their basic needs, and Khalid got severely sick from this infection and had to skip school to help his father at work at this very young age. Imagine, this loss robbed Khalid of his dreams and even his childhood to help his family. Unfortunately, this isn't the story of Khalid alone.
According to FAO, the global fish farming market size was valued at $268.9 billion, and 58.5 million people are employed worldwide in fish production.
And as Egypt is one of the pioneer countries in the fish industry, with a market size of $1.6 billion and producing about 2 million tons of fish annually, Egypt is the first African country and the 7th worldwide in fish farming production.
Despite how huge this industry is, it faced a sudden production decline. According to FAO, 40% of fish production in Egypt is lost annually. So not just the heavy financial loss, but also threatening 7,000 fish farms of Egypt to the same fate of Khalid's family. This is definitely an imminent threat to all the countries that rely on fish farming worldwide.
Hence, we couldn't afford to sit on the sidelines. We took it upon ourselves to get to the root cause of this problem. After 7,800 kilometers of traveling and 1,000 hours of needs assessment surveys, we found about 20 Egyptian governorates affected by this crisis, with Kafr Sheikh, the first governorate in fish production, being most affected.
الذرة والعلف غالي قوي أو مش موجود حتى.
الأسعار غالية.
أسواق السمك حالة من الركود.
Nowadays, fish feed costed in excess of over $10,900 per acre annually, as a result of the huge price increase of their primary protein source, soybeans. So they use feed alternatives like other animals' dung or even poultry feathers. These alternatives cause transmission of fish parasites to the living fish, which of course would affect the consumers with poisoning and severe inflammations in the digestive system.
We were determined to find a solution to this crisis. Our R&D team spent 760 hours doing research until we, Enactus Egypt, found the proper solution in our project, Hermetia, our 3-phase project with 6 main tracks to improve our economy, health, and the sustainable development of our planet. So let us take you through the phases of our project step by step.
The first phase was solving fish farms' problems, starting with the fish feed track. With the help of entomology professor Dr. Noor Shouri, we found a way to get the proteins needed for the fish feed from a tiny creature, the black soldier fly.
An insect that begins its 42-day life cycle when its larvae feed in suitable amounts of protein, fat, and carbohydrates. They live in open, windy areas, gathering around food waste to feed on and lay their eggs. Those larvae can eat up to 6 times their weight.
Finding that the black soldier flies feed on food waste ignited an idea in our minds. What if we found a connective link to solve several problems? We did find a solution to the fish feed crisis from the core of another problem, food waste.
According to FAO, over 9 million tons of food are wasted annually in Egypt and left to rot, increasing CO2 emission by 15%, causing environmental pollution and spreading infections as pulmonary diseases.
With the help of professors of the Agriculture Research Center, we used the larvae to recycle that food waste into fish feed. We bought 3 kilograms of larvae and fed them the food waste we collected from homes and restaurants in Kafr Sheikh. They reproduced into 18 kilograms and kept reproducing rapidly in the cultures we prepared for them.
We took the excreta of the larvae, which is rich in proteins and fats, and used them to make our first Egyptian innovation, the organic fish feed, Nutria. The other feeds relying on soybeans have a protein content of only 35%, while Nutria contains 40%.
So Nutria has a higher protein content and more nutritious benefits. It's 100% made from local components, cheaper than the currently used feeds by 49%, and each acre is covered by 3,330 kilograms.
After interviewing 2,140 people, we found that fishermen were most affected by this crisis, as they lost their only source of income. So we found no better beneficiaries Then we went to a large fish farm in Kafr Sheikh to be our startup and convinced Miss Aya Hindawi, daughter of the farm owner, to be our main beneficiary and the leader of our entrepreneurial
انا
action.
اللي ماسكه الشغل هنا في مزرعه والدي، ولما الشباب جولي قررت ان انا اشتغل معاهم ونحاول نشوف حل لموضوع العلف وموت السمك.
Then it was time for the know-how sessions. We spent 52 hours teaching the beneficiaries how to make the feed, empowering 8 beneficiaries of both men and women, covering 30 acres, and helping those people escape poverty and have a stable source of income, ensuring the sustainability of this entrepreneurship. This track had us generate an annualized revenue stream of over $113,000 at the startup.
We were ready to launch our product into the market. We got the needed approvals from the Ministry of Agriculture, then targeted feed stores and gave them samples of our feed. We also partnered up with Kafr Sheikh Feed Factory to have a production line for Nutria.
We made 35-hour offline awareness campaign to spread our idea in our feed, and we were amazed by the results as fish farm owners started using our feed that's proudly made in Egypt.
We successfully reached our break-even point after selling 99 tons of nutria. Then it was time for expansion. We passed down our entrepreneurship to 408 beneficiaries, covering 51 fish farms of fresh and salt water in 5 Egyptian governorates: Kafr Sheikh, Damietta, El Bahira, Souz, and Port Said. But wait, Hermetia did not stop here. During the implementation of the fish feed, we came across another crucial problem.
The previously used feed alternatives completely polluted the water of the farms and made it a very suitable environment for bacteria and parasites to grow, which affects both fish and the consumers. They also are the reason of increasing the biggest enemy to fish in water, ammonia, which causes chemical burns on fish skin, making it susceptible to any kind of diseases.
After 168 hours of research with few modifications, with the help of the veterinary professor Dr. Khalid Shoughi and engineer Alaa El Aouda, we came up with an innovative solution, reaching our second track.
مهندس علاء العقدة صاحب شركة أرفلون للاستزراع. المزرعة هنا بالنظام المغلق قايم على تدوير المية تربية الأحياء المائية. النظام بيتكون من فلاتر كتير. طبعا النظام فيه تعقيد كتير جدا عشان يتطبق في كل المزارع المفتوحة بره. احنا والشباب خدنا جزئين من الفلاتر، هنا الفلتر الميكانيكي والفلتر البيولوجي، وعدلنا فيه التعديلات بحيث يتناسب مع المزارع المفتوحة بره ويشتغل ويكون بفايدة كويسة جدا على النظام المفتوح.
We didn't want this great opportunity to be limited to closed fish farming systems. So, we collaborated with Arfalone Farming Company, striking our second track, the biological water filter, used in open fish farming systems to filter the water from ammonia and other harmful contents. And based on the deal with Arfalone, we generate a profit of $4,855 per filter.
The huge impact of our feed made us move to our second phase, making other feeds, carrying out our third, fourth, and fifth tracks. We looked into the poultry industry in Egypt, which is also suffering from high feed costs and low productivity, increase in poultry price in the market.
So after 79 hours of research, making modifications, we made the Egyptian innovation Hermetia poultry feed, producing a revenue of more than $93,000 annually. And since large animal farms had similar problems, we offered our made in Egypt innovation Hermetia large animal feed, making over $273,000 annually.
We also found that ornamental fish feed prices were high, so we made a 30% cheaper ornamental fish feed. And since our products are environmentally harmless, the packaging had to be eco-friendly. So we packed our feed in recycled plastic using purely Egyptian raw materials, ensuring sustainability, making over $3,000 annually.
We were not done with the black soldier flies yet. So we started our third and final phase, achieving a zero waste project. After conducting lab tests on the dry remains of the black soldier flies bodies, we found that they contain 24% chitin, the primary source of chitosan, which has numerous industrial uses.
We successfully completed our sixth track, producing 79% pure chitosan with a cost of $6.4 per 100 gram, which is 56% cheaper than the imported one, generating over $89,000 annually in revenue. You see, all this from this little insect. No wonder it's the second most useful insect in the world.
Knowing the immense importance of e-commerce in business, we launched an online page for our project Hermetia to spread awareness and teach people about its benefits.
The huge success of our products encouraged us to expand our project to several countries that are drawing their attention to fish farming. So we exported Nutrias to Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states, opening a revenue stream of over $485,000 annually.
Using our fish feed in the saltwater fish farms of Egypt increased their productivity by 33%, opening a revenue stream for them by exporting their fish production.
According to our business model, Hermetia will expand to cover all the fish farms of Egypt within 7 years, as we collaborated with the General Authority of Fish Resources Development to expand our project under the supervision of the National Institute of Oceanography and Fisheries. And from Egypt, Hermetia will expand all around the world.
As you can see, Hermetia helped reduce the food waste in Egypt, made fish, poultry, and large animal feeds, covering a total of 62 farms, increased their production by 256%, innovated a biological water filter for open fish farming systems, and provided an adequate amount of chitosan to the market.
Hitting the triple bottom line and making a total revenue of over $6.7 million annually, generating a profit of over $2.8 million.
Creating 408 job opportunities and increasing people's income by 543%.
This year, we established 14 out of the 17 SDGs, directly impacting 2,040 people, indirectly impacting 523,000 people.
Raising awareness of 3,300,000 people, changing a total of 3,825,040 lives. And this is only the beginning.
مجهود كبير عملوه الشباب وعملناه مع بعض عشان نقدر نوصل لمنتج مفيد يحل مشاكلنا ويكون بديل للأعلاف. ومش بس كده، احنا بدأنا ننزله السوق بكميات. كمان في رحلة شغلنا اكتشفنا ان احنا نقدر نعمل من المنتج ده منتجات تانية.
Khalid's story was our motive to change millions of lives.
We left no stone unturned trying to find scalable solutions and create a better world for them.
This is the power to thrive. This is
Enactus Egypt!
Begin the question and answer session. Only judges can ask questions. Judges, please raise your hand if you wish to ask a question and we'll provide you with a mic. Kindly wait. I think we're ready to go. We have 5 minutes for the Q&A. We will see out the full time.
Thank you guys for amazing presentation. I have one question. How long have you been working in the project, Hermetia?
Okay, we started our project October 2022.
2022. Okay. Thanks.
Congratulations. So 1 year, that's phenomenal in that time. How did you get to, when you're prior to this, you're brainstorming your ideas for your team and everything, how did you hone in on this particular issue?
Well, actually, we started our needs assessment surveys last October. We traveled to all the Egyptian governorates, doing needs assessment surveys, collecting data, looking for problems. And once we found the problem, we started implementation in the November. Started implementing, but we took a month for collecting data, looking for problems, and searching.
Okay, so it's just like the focus perspective. So I saw how many is the team is, how many people the team is. Just I saw you focus on multiple aspects. For expansion perspective, do you think that you will focus on one of these 3 phases? Because I saw, it's the same the same creature, but for example, for water filter, it's totally different aspect. So in the expansion phase, you will think that you will focus on one perspective, or you will stay with this kind of 3 phases?
No, we are focusing on all of the 3 phases with the 6 tracks.
Just a follow-up question regarding the revenues. So you mentioned you started in November to implement. So this is when the revenues started to be generated, right? So that's mean 6 million, if I understand, from the number $6 million from November to now. It's impressive. So that's it. Just like to say.
Fantastic presentation. I have a couple questions. The first one is you have 40% of fish production is lost annually. I'm assuming that there would be some kind of baseline loss. Do you guys have a target of what you would want to get that down to, or what would be expected kind of if your product was fully implemented, say, everywhere in Egypt?
Actually, according to our customer feedback, that after using our feed regarding its fish, poultry, or large animal feed, the number of the fish or other animals died in the farm decreases, and actually this encourages the owners of the farms to use the full capacity of the fish farm. So the production of the fish farm increases. So we actually have a target, but since we started implementing and giving the samples and the feed to the markets and the owners of farms, we actually started seeing a result.
Perfect, thank you. And then just one other quick one. I might be pronouncing it wrong. RF Falone Farming Company, the group that you partnered with, can you just explain a little bit more about how kind of the manufacturing and distribution works of that?
Yes, so our Falone Farming Company is a huge farming company in Kafr Sheikh. We made a deal with our Falone Farming Company. That deal is about they get 70% of the revenue, while 30% of it go to the beneficiaries as a profit, and that is the $4,855 per filter. So they're responsible for the manufacturing process, the whole manufacturing process, and we are responsible for marketing in Egypt.
Time has expired. Let's give the judges. Please join me in thanking.
Thank you, sir.